115, 751. Those are no longer just numbers. Those represent Indigenous children, students, taken from their families, ripped from their culture, and found in unmarked graves. And that number will grow. Not long ago, 215 remains of children found in the Kamloops Residential Institution in BC, and this week, 751 unmarked graves discovered at the site of the former Merivale Indian Residential School, located 164 kilometers east of Regina, Saskatchewan.
Any abuse that anybody talks about, it's true. It still hurts. You know, I took lots of health, wellness courses over the years, but that pain will never go away.
The pain and trauma endured in that school still haunts survivors to this day. The Cowessess First Nation has known for decades that people were buried in unmarked sites where the residential school once stood, but will the Pope apologize for what happened there? What would an apology mean, and how can the federal government and the Catholic Church be held accountable? Joining me now, Cowessess First Nations Chief Cadmus Delorme, and RoseAnne Archibald is the Assembly of First Nations National Chief Candidate. She just completed her term as the Regional Chief of Ontario. Difficult days, but I really appreciate both of you joining us. Chief Delorme, I got to start with you, obviously. It's your community where the Merivale Residential School is located. The country watched you at those press conferences in this past week. Obviously, the community is, like the rest of the country, in kind of a state of horror about all this, although not surprised. You tell us how, June 2nd, when you started the deep ground radar, what you expected to find, and if anything actually has surprised you about what you found.
Thanks, Evan. We had this in the planning for 2 years, and with COVID last year, we asked our technicians to hold off a year. There was no vaccine yet. We were going to start June 2nd, and the Kamloops Residential School, 215 graves found, triggered myself, my community, survivors of Merivale, as well as many others across this country. And we were like, well, we're starting ours next week. What are we looking at? And I grew up on Cowessess. I was told as a kid, don't walk over here. There's unmarked graves. Stay on the path. And so we bought 200 flags, and we started, and we did maybe a quarter of our 44,000 square meters area. We delegated as phase 1, and we ran out of flags. And as we went on, we kept hitting. And as of 3 days ago, we were at 761 hits. And, the flags were all over and in order. This is not a mass grave site. This is just unmarked graves. And we just said, we got to tell the people, we got to tell the community, and then we got to share it with all of our friends and family in Canada, across and internationally.
I want to go over to RoseAnne Archibald. You're in Ontario. I know Ontario has now committed $10 million provincially, alongside the federal government's $27 million to identify more. But your reaction, now you've had Kamloops, 215, the 751 are now, as Chief Delorme has said, to 761, possibly more hits and these unmarked graves. How many more sites do you think ought to be investigated, and how many more sites of unmarked graves do you think we will discover, RoseAnne Archibald?
Well, first of all, I want to give my condolences to Chief Delorme and his community. These are children. We have to remember that these are somebody's babies, that they were loved, that they were cherished, and that they didn't go home. And also, we have to recognize that every community that had a residential school has this terrible legacy. The chief just talked about already being told as a kid, don't walk in that area. I mean, these are issues that have been hanging over communities that have had residential schools in their communities, and they've known about it. Everybody has known. We have known for a long time. It's just coming to light for other people. And we will find unmarked graves in every residential school across this country. And we have to really be cognizant, again, that these are little innocent children. These children did nothing wrong. These children did not deserve to die in residential school and be buried in unmarked graves. That's what I think is important as we move forward, is that we all, as I said on the last time I talked to you, Evan, we all are awake, and we must stay awake and aware of what is happening to us and what has happened to us, and find that path forward for healing. That's the most important thing, is that we together begin to heal ourselves as First Nations people, and that we ask Canadians to heal as well for the atrocities that were committed at residential schools. And we are calling it genocide. We have always called it genocide. And I want people to start recognizing that it is genocide. When you're talking about 751 little innocent children being found in unmarked graves, that is genocide.
Part of the healing that you mentioned, and I'll go back to Chief Delorme, it means accountability. Accountability for the government, accountability for the church who ran that school, from an accountability, a justice point of view. Chief, what do you need? What needs to happen now from the federal government, and what needs to happen from the Catholic Church?
Thank you, Evan. I just want to mention it is 751. I mentioned 761 earlier. My apologies. The 751 hits is truth. This machine that we use has a 10% error. I'm not saying that any of these were errors, but we did as technically as we can and let the technicians do what they had to do. The first thing that has to happen is an apology has to come from the Pope. It was a priest who had the authority to decide who shall and shall not be in this gravesite. From 1886 to 1970, this gravesite was the Roman Catholic gravesite. The Roman Catholic Church overseen the Merivale residential school. And so they had the responsibility and decision-making power. The Pope apologizing is going to put a little bit of the mental, emotional, psychological part at peace for survivors that are listening, and survivor and friends and families of survivors.
RoseAnne, Archibald, please weigh in on that. From the accountability question, because I know Chief Bobby Cameron from the FSIN in Saskatchewan said to me, there are priests and there are nuns who perpetrated crimes that are still alive, and there hasn't been charges. What's your sense of the need for accountability and for justice?
Well, I echo the calls from Chief Delorme that the Pope must apologize. And also, the government of Canada has to implement the 94 calls to action under the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Only 10 of those have been implemented in 6 years. A part of that is teaching people about this. A lot of people on social media that I'm reading are like, oh, I had no idea. What do I do now? You know, people are really reeling because they had no clue that genocide had occurred in Canada. So that's what governments need to do. They need to teach every citizen about what has happened in Canada.
Cowess's First Nations Chief, Cadmus Delorme. RoseAnne Archibald is the Assembly of First Nations National Chief Candidate later in July. I appreciate both of you taking the time this morning. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Take care.